Have you looked at your water bill recently? Seriously, have you been asking yourself, how is this even possible? I mean, your routine has not changed. You have the same dishwasher, but somehow your water bill just keeps skyrocketing. The answer? It's not just inflation, it's policy. But here's the thing, most of us don't get to look behind the curtain. We just foot the bill. And so that's what I'm going to get into in this video. I'm exposing how little known policies can impact your life, your health, and yes, your bank account, and what you can do about it. Hello, and welcome to my channel, What the Policy, where policy meets real life. My name is Viola, and I have been quietly working behind the scenes explaining policies and regulations to business executives for over a decade. As a government affairs and regulatory compliance leader, I've saved companies thousands of dollars, and I've helped to shape legislation that impacts our everyday lives. And now I'm breaking it all down for you. No politics, no mumbo jumbo, just the stuff you actually need to know. On this channel, I'll dive into the real impact of policies on you, the consumer, and I'll show you how these often abstract decisions impact your life, your health, and your wallet. So if you've ever asked yourself, why is it so difficult, or who is making these decisions, then this channel is for you. Please click the like, subscribe, and notification button to receive more content. So back to your water bill. Why did it go up? Let's kick off with a fact that might make you pause a bit. According to a report from the Bank of America Institute, the average water bill has increased at almost twice the rate of inflation within just 1 year. Think about that. Because for most of us, it's not like we suddenly started filling up swimming pools that we don't own, or that there's some huge hidden leak. Our actual usage hasn't really changed. The real story, based on the material we've looked at, points straight to policy. And here's where it gets really interesting, because it's actually the often overlooked policy of non-intervention, or the policy of inaction. Okay, so you might be asking, aren't I being a bit dramatic or oversimplifying the matter? Actually, no. Policy decisions impact every aspect of our lives. Let's be clear. Every single decision an organization, be it a government or business, makes or does not make is a policy decision. Even choosing to do nothing is a policy. Yep, you heard me right. Choosing to do absolutely nothing is a policy choice. It is the policy of non-intervention. And that non-intervention or lack of action is itself a really powerful policy. These choices or non-choices ripple out and impact everything, often in ways that we don't connect. So in the case of your water bill, we can also call it deferred maintenance. Think about when your car's check engine light comes on. You see it, you notice it, but you just keep driving anyway, hoping for it to disappear. You're practicing the policy of non-intervention. And your inaction will likely result in your car's complete breakdown at some point. Well, for decades, basically the same thing has been happening with our water infrastructure. It's aging. It needs attention. But we've just been deferring the maintenance. But wait, if this has been going on for decades, then why is it suddenly spiking now? Well, I'm glad you asked that question. Several factors have sort of converged to bring it to, well, a boiling point. For one thing, according to Eric Olson of the Natural Resources Defense Council, some of our water treatment systems literally date back to the early 1900s. Think about that. It's over 100 years old. And these aren't just some simple pipes, right? These are complex systems. Filtration pumps, distribution networks. And this huge aging problem is being compounded by the really intense, unpredictable extreme weather we're seeing now due to climate change impacts. Long droughts strain the water sources we have, and treating that water becomes more expensive. Then on the flip side, Huge downpours can just overwhelm these old stormwater systems, which lead to overflows and more risk of contamination. And compounding it even further is how fragmented everything is. You've got thousands of tiny independent water utilities all across the country, and each one faces its own money problems. It makes coordinating these huge necessary investments incredibly difficult. So it's not just neglect, it's baked into the structure of how we manage water in the first place. To put a number on it, the Bipartisan Policy Center estimates that we need a jaw-dropping $744 billion with a B dollars for drinking water infrastructure upgrades over the next 2 decades. Unless investments in infrastructure are prioritized seriously at both the federal and state levels, experts are concerned that clean drinking water is on target to become unaffordable for many of us, but particularly if you live in low-income, rural, or minority communities. Situations like Flint, Michigan, and Jackson, Mississippi will become more common all over the U.S. We're talking corroded pipes leaching lead into our drinking water, extended boil water notices, and low water pressure. Not to mention, we're already relying on more and more chemicals to keep our water safe enough to drink. Ultimately, we have some tough decisions to make as a society. It's a really stark choice. But even if we do nothing, the cost of clean drinking water will still continue to rise. Patching things up costs money. Emergency responses cost money. So the real question isn't if we'll pay, it's how we'll pay. Will we pay through planned government investment and expenditure, or will we pay with our health and our money? Let's be honest, it is getting harder for families to keep up with rising water bills. And while the federal low-income household water assistance program once helped to cover many of our water bills and other utilities, that funding is gone. That doesn't absolutely mean that you're out of options, though. There are still quite a few places to turn for help, and it's really important that you know what those are. Many states actually run their own utility assistance programs. Usually you'd find these through your state utility commissions or departments of human services, and these programs can often help with water bills and sometimes even other utilities like energy. So do a quick search on your state's utility commission website, which should point you in the right direction. Secondly, believe it or not, your own water company might have help available too. So some local utilities often have their own financial assistance programs for customers who are struggling, like payment plans, bill discounts, or even emergency crisis grants. It's there to help bridge the gap and give you some immediate relief. The trick is, you usually have to call them directly since they don't advertise that they help. But don't assume that they don't have it just because it's not plastered on the bill. So call your local water utility or go to their website and ask for their customer assistance or their hardship assistance. Third, there are quite a few nonprofits stepping up, especially for certain groups like seniors, people with disabilities, or families with young kids. Organizations like the Dollar Energy Fund and the Salvation Army help with utility bills, including water. So visit their websites or give them a call to find out if you qualify. And finally, don't forget United Way 211. Just go to 211.org or dial 211. What's great about 211 is you're not just getting a list of numbers. You can talk to a real person during business hours, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And the specialist can help you figure out what you might be eligible for and help you navigate through the paperwork and sometimes direct you to local programs based on your income and where you live. So to sum it up, if you're struggling, here's what you can do right now. Call your water utility. Check your state utility commission's website for state-specific programs. Search more boldly for help through your local community action agency or benefits.gov. Or maybe the simplest starting point, just dial 211. Here's maybe the most important part. Keep paying something on your bill if you can, even partially until that assistance kicks in. That really helps prevent your service from being shut off. It shows good faith, and critically, it just keeps the water flowing while you're getting the help lined up. You're definitely not alone in this struggle. Help is out there, and it's worth asking for it. I hope this deep dive helped you see how these abstract policies, or the lack of them, directly hits your everyday life and, yeah, your wallet. And if you're wondering what other seemingly small, behind-the-scenes policies are impacting your life even when you're not aware of them, drop me a comment and let me know what policies you wish someone would explain. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Remember, nothing is too small, but everything is political, even when it's not partisan. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and notify so you can be notified of my next installment. See you next time.